Hi, this is Soph's Fitness Lab, and this session is all about dealing with knee pain. So avoiding it, reducing it. This is the intermediate session. There's also a beginner one. Maybe you want to check out the beginner one first, and if that feels too easy or not challenging, then do this one. Knee pain is something that tons of people experience and just calls us to look a little bit more about what these things need, and how I'm going to approach that is splitting it into three main categories. This is what we did in the beginner workout too. So we're going to look at balance and stability, we're going to look at strength, and we're going to look at stretching. And for strengthening, just like in the other one, we'll focus on the main muscle groups that are relevant for supporting or protecting your knee. And that's the quads at the front, the glutes, the ass, the hamstrings, and the calf muscles. So we'll do things for all of those groups. We're going to be doing about 15 different exercises. Knee pains are something that so many people experience, but if we focus on these three things, balance, strength, stability, and on those muscle groups, then this is a pretty good way to make sure your knees stay happy. If you have pain in just one knee, you could do many of the exercises where you only focus on that one leg. But if you have time, it would be great to focus on both legs, just to make sure that all the muscles are in a nice, healthy state and it's not going to end up shifting from one side to the other. So I'm going to show you a range of different exercises. You don't have to do them all in one go. You could do them half on one day, half on another, just here and there, whatever you have time for. It would be great if in total you could do all of them once per week, at least. Great would be twice per week. So to start off, let's look at balance on one leg. So stand on one leg and swing the other leg backwards and forwards. Okay? Wait till you're comfortable with this movement. You can bend the standing leg very slightly. Okay, and when you're comfortable, close your eyes. You'll notice you start to wobble a bit. You might want to hold your arms out. Okay, and it would be great to do this for about a minute. And then switch to the other side. First start with swinging your leg till you're comfortable. And then close your eyes. And do that for about a minute. Okay, you can do it while you're brushing your teeth or something, just work it into your day. Once you're comfortable with that, it would be great to do the same thing, standing on an uneven surface. So you can use various things for this. I've got a slightly deflated rugby ball here. I've just let the air out of it. You could use a deflated football, or you could roll up a towel and put it under your foot so that your heel and your toe are not on the ground. And then what you're going to do is stand on it on one leg. Okay? You might want to stand near a wall just to help you not to fall over. Okay? So you find your balance and you're just literally going to stand there. And with this, it would be great if you could do it for 5 minutes. It's quite a long time. If you get really good at this and you want to advance a bit, then you can start to do different things. So here's standing on one leg. You can again move the other leg around a bit, just to test yourself out. Or you can do very small movements of bending your standing leg and standing up again. Bending and standing up again. Yeah. One other thing that you can do, just to give you some ideas, is you can stand on it with both feet and you can try rolling in different directions. So try rolling forwards and then rolling back. Roll to the side, roll back. Roll to the other side, roll back. Roll to the back, roll back to the middle. Yeah, so you're just doing little movements in this position. If you want to get really pro, you can do that on one leg. I don't think I can demonstrate that. Okay, so the basic point is, in total with these different ideas, the swinging and the standing on the uneven surface, it would be great if in total you can do 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes on each leg. Obviously that's quite a lot of time, so hence you can do it whilst brushing your teeth if you don't want to do it at other times. And this balancing thing would be great if you could do that more like 3 times a week. Your knees will be really happy about it. Okay, but the rest just once or twice a week. So the rest is coming up now, and we'll start with hamstrings strengthening. So for this, in a standing position, you're going to do like a heel kick. So you're kicking your, but very slow motion kick. You're kicking your heel up to your ass. And you should notice that to do this, you have to as if squeeze this muscle together, and that's what you want to be focusing on. So this is great for improving the mobility of this area. And you do it, you can use a wall to balance or not. You do it very slowly, and at the top, hold for 5 seconds. And to make sure you're in a good position, don't be doing this, bending your body forwards. Keep your hips pushed forwards. Okay? So you're lifting up, holding for 5 seconds, lowering down, and you can do this around 15 times on each side. If it feels quite easy, you can add an ankle weight. Here is an ankle weight. If you don't have one of these, you can improvise it. You can get a bag of rice or pasta and tie it to your foot, or be creative in some way. Yeah, so then this is 2 kilograms. You can also get them that's a bit lighter, like 1 kilogram. It's maybe good to start with. Yeah, so then the same thing in this position. Raise up, hold, slowly lower down. And you want to do it a number of times where you really start to feel this muscle, that the muscle is getting tired, that it's maybe a little bit starting to burn or starting to wobble a bit, and then you know you've really worked it, and that gives it enough of an impulse to change. Okay? So a rough guide would be to do about 15 times. So that's a standing butt kick or heel kick. And the second thing we're going to do is focusing on the glutes, the ass muscles. We're going to lie down, and we're going to do the second version of the clam. The first version was in the beginner workout. So again, you're going to start with your shoulders and your ass and your heels, making one line. In the first workout, we did this movement. It would be good if you can already do that before you do this. So in this one, we keep our heels together and we lift up the heels off the ground, trying to keep the hips in the same position. So you're not just swinging your hips over there, which wouldn't be using the muscles so much. You're trying to use your ass muscles in order to make this lift. Okay? So your feet don't need to come very far off the ground. And with this, do it again very slowly, and you can lift up, hold for 5 seconds, and slowly lower down. And you can do around 15 each side until you can really feel it in that muscle. Okay? And we have a second exercise for the ass, which is where you're going to be lying down, this time on your belly. And you can just do with your upper body what you want. And you're going to lift up one leg, and then the other leg. And you're going to focus on pressing your hip bones into the ground so they give a kind of contra. And you keep your legs straight, and you try to do the lift by imagining that it's coming from here. Yes, so you're squeezing your ass to lift your leg from the ground, and you try and keep your leg straight so that the movement's coming from your ass rather than from your hamstring, which would be this. Okay, so it's a bit like swimming with really straight legs. And you can do perhaps 20 each side for this. And again, do it so that you reach a point where you can really feel it in the muscle. So, like with the others, slowly lift up, hold for around 5 seconds, and lower down, lift up, hold, and lower down. And keep breathing while you're doing it. Okay, so that's dorsal leg raises. Now we're going to do an exercise that starts to shift over to the calf muscles, but still uses the hamstrings and the glutes, so it's ticking all the boxes, and that's focusing on a bridge position. We did a basic bridge position in the beginner workout. This time we're going to develop that a little bit. So your feet are on the ground, about hip width apart. They're quite close to your body, so you can almost touch them with your fingertips. You can almost touch your heels. Your shoulders are on the ground, and you're going to engage your abs, tighten them in, and lift your tailbone off the ground and slowly roll up into a bridge. And then when you're here, you're going to do a stepping kind of thing with your feet. Yeah? So this is really great for strengthening around your ankles and your calves. It's a bit like you're pedaling. So what would be great is to do this very slowly, squeezing each time for around 30 seconds. Or maximum for 1 minute, and then that will be great. And then when you've done that, you can slowly lower back down again. And come back to standing. And then we'll do an exercise that's just more directly focused on the calf muscles. So these are your calves. And that is lifting up onto your toes on just one leg. In the beginner session we did 2 at once. This time just 1. You can balance yourself on a wall or a chair if you need. So you're going to stand on one leg and very slowly squeeze your calf muscle to get you upright. And hold, and then come back down. And the same thing, you can try and stay up at the top for about 5 seconds before you lower back down. The other foot doesn't have to be completely off the ground. It can sort of passively rest on the ground just to balance you, but not really take any weight. So what you can imagine is that you're really squeezing this muscle to hold you in this top position. And try and hold there for 5 seconds before you then slowly lower back down. And with this one, it would be great if you can do on each side at least 10, maybe 15. But again, you just judge it for yourself. Try to take it to a point where it's kind of starting to burn in your calf. Then maybe do 1 more. And then that's enough, okay? Then you know you've taken the muscle kind of beyond its comfort zone. That gives it enough of an input to actually strengthen, and then it needs a few days for doing that, so give it a few days and then do the exercise again. Okay, so we've looked at the hamstrings, the glutes and the calves, everything at the back. Now we're coming to the quads. And for this, we're going to sit down. And we're going to do long arcs. In the first video we did short arcs, and this is an extended version of that. So sitting down, we're going to slowly extend one leg up, hold it for 5 seconds, and slowly bring it back down, and then change to the other leg, hold for 5 seconds, and bring it back down. If you want, you can hold at the top for more like 10 seconds. And when you're holding in this tensed position, I want you to focus on tensing this muscle here. So this is called the vastus medialis, and often it's weaker in our quads muscles, and we tend to have more this one, and this one stronger, but not so much this one. And it adds extra stability, and it kind of takes care of the last bit of leg extension, and it's great. So focus on that one. So you can do this slow extension, holding and lowering, perhaps 10 to 15 times on each side. If it gets quite easy, again, you can add a weight to your ankle and do the same thing with this, and it just makes it a little bit more difficult. After you've finished with the lifting and lowering, I want you to once lift it and hold kind of as long as you can. See if you can get to 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Your muscles will be tired because you've just done stuff with them, but just do once of holding it for a long time, and again, really focusing on that this inside muscle is tensing while you're doing it. Okay. We're staying with the quads muscle group for a couple more exercises. The next thing is doing a wall sit. So that's using the wall, feet hip width apart, and coming into a sitting position. The maximum you would lower yourself down to is making 90 degrees between your upper body and your thighs and your lower legs. That would be the maximum, okay? And if it's less than that, it's totally fine. So you slowly lower down, hold it for 5 to 10 seconds, and then slowly lower up. If you want to make it a little more comfortable, you can use a handy ball and use that to roll you. Yeah, so it rolls from the lower back to the upper back as you move down the wall. And you can just do this slow lowering, holding, and lifting up, again for about 15 repetitions until you start to really feel it in your thighs. If you want to make this a bit more difficult, you can go a bit lower. So if you were only going to here, you can go down to here. And you can hold for a bit longer. So you could even hold for 30 seconds or even a minute, if that feels possible, until your thighs start to get a little bit shaky and a little bit burny. And then it's enough, and then you slowly come back up. Yeah, so you're always looking to do it just enough that you've really challenged the muscles. Okay, so we're going to come up to 2 exercises lying down now, that's focusing on the inner and outer part of the thighs. So the first one is just simply lifting up the upper leg. So you're lying on your side. You can either be propped up on your elbow like this, or totally chilled out lying down like this. The main thing, like with the other exercises, you want to be all in a straight line now. So now your legs are straight, heels, ass, shoulders all in a straight line. And your upper leg is going to lift up and lift down, and your feet are going to stay parallel to each other, so you're not really opening out, the feet are staying parallel, and you can do it with your toes flexed towards you. And what you're trying to avoid doing is your ass pointing to the back. So you're trying to keep your hips pressing forward so that you stay in a nice straight line. And we're using the outside of the upper leg here. And again, do it slowly, raise up, hold for 5 seconds, slowly lower down. And you can again do it around 15 times till you start to really feel it here. And if it starts to be too easy, you can attach the trusty weight to your leg and do it with the ankle weight. Yeah? So you can do this on both sides. The second exercise in this position is that you bring this upper leg in front of the other leg, and you're going to this time prop yourself up on your elbow, and you're going to use contracting your inner thigh to push you up off the ground. Okay, so then instead of working the abductor, we're working the adductor muscles. And again, you can do this with a hold at the top and then lower down. This one perhaps you'll do more like 10 of them, but again, just do it till it feels like, wow, that was quite strenuous, I can't really do anymore. And again, try and keep your body in a nice straight line for this. Okay, so that's our inside and outside of the thighs. Now we're going to come back to the main bulk of the quads again with two things. So one, we want to again focus on this vastus medialis muscle by doing a small squat on one leg and pushing back up. Yes, so a single leg squat. And you're not going very far down. And with anything to do with squats, your knee wants to stay behind your toes, so you're not coming forward like this. Your knee is kind of staying above your ankle, and you're just going a little way down and then pushing back up as if you push your heel against the ground. And you can try doing around 10 of those on each side, very slowly. If you need to, you can use the other foot just to balance you a little bit. Yeah, so just a small movement and pushing back up. One last thing for the quads is to do a step up. I don't really have a step right here, but you can be creative. I've still got my rugby ball around, so you can step up and step back down. It would be great if the step was around this height or maybe up to here. So coming up to sort of halfway up your calf. Yeah, so stepping up, lowering back down. And the key working leg is this one that's doing the stepping. Standing up and lowering down. Standing up and lowering down. So this one you can do about 20 times on each side, stepping up and down. And then, here we're stepping up and down forwards, yeah? Then turn your body and your foot so that you're going to be stepping up to the side, okay? So you're not anymore stepping forwards, but you're lifting your body up to the side. And this is also a really great way to target this muscle. Okay, and since you've already done the other one 20 times, perhaps this one you can just do 15. Yeah, so slowly stepping up and slowly lowering down. Okay, so that's our specific quads exercise finished. We've just got 2 more exercises left that are combination exercises, and then we'll go on to stretching. So first we're going to do sitting down, and from a sitting position, standing up. Okay? And for this, we're using the quads and the glutes both at once. Great. So sit with your feet hip width apart, and you're going to stand by leaning your upper body forwards and then standing. And what's really great with this exercise is if you can do the lowering part very slowly. So what you're looking for, as with anything that's to do with bending the legs, is that your knees stay kind of above your ankles and they don't go in front of your toes. So your knees stay there and you're like reaching back with your ass, kind of searching for the chair. Your upper body leans forward, but it stays open. You're not hanging down like this. Yeah, so you're reaching back, and if you can, do this very slowly. So hold the tension right until the end. Yeah, it's like doing a squat, but you just get to sit down at the end of it. Okay. So it would be good to do this very slowly, 10 to 15 times. If you feel like moving up to an advanced version of this, you can do it on one leg. So then you would have one leg stretched out, the other leg on the chair, and you would do it like this. It's basically like the single leg squat that we did before, just going a bit deeper and ending with being able to sit on the chair rather than hang very low in the air. Okay, so if I show you again, the single leg squat, single leg sitting to standing looks like this. And if you want, you can kind of, instead of sitting on the chair, just like hover over it before you come up. If you notice, I use my arms to balance. Yeah, so if you want, you can progress to the single leg version. 2 legs is also completely fine. Okay, so our very last exercise, we're going to get back down on the ground and do something else with the bridge. So we've had our bridge position, which was lying with the heels near your fingertips, raising up to a straight line, trying to keep your hips up. And from this position, we're going to extend one leg out and lower it back down. And this is a nice combination exercise for the quads, the ass, the hamstrings and the lower back. Yeah, and the key thing here is to keep your hips up all the time, so they can tend to just like get a bit lazy and dip down. So it's a kind of attention thing to try to keep them up all the time. So you extend one leg, again hold it for around 5 seconds. Then slowly lower it down, extend the other one, hold it for 5 seconds, slowly lower it down, and all the time your hips are up, and all the time you're breathing, and you're relaxed in your face and your shoulders. And this one, it would be good if you did around 10 on each side. If you manage 15, great. Okay, as a final variation, if you want to make that a bit more difficult, get the trusty ball or wobbly surface that you've been using and put your feet on that. Yeah, so then it just adds a bit of an extra challenge if the thing that your feet are on is unstable, and then you're having to do a bit more adjusting movements with your body. Okay, so those are all of our balancing and strengthening exercises that are really great for making knees happy. And we're going to finish just by doing some stretching. We're going to do the same stretches as in the beginner workout, so if you've done that already, then you know what they are. We're going to start with stretching out the hamstrings by extending one leg and bringing the other leg close into your body. flexing your toes towards you and just leaning over your leg, leading with your chest. So it's not important how far you manage to get forwards, it's important that your chest is going towards your thighs. And you're just trying to stay here in a position where it's not painful, but where you can feel the stretch and it feels kind of like a pleasant release. And you want to stay there for at least 30 seconds. It'd be great if you could stay there for 60 seconds and then your muscles have a chance to start actually releasing. So do this on both sides. If you don't find this position particularly comfortable, you can also do this stretch on your back. And there you would just attach something like a towel or a t-shirt around the top of your foot to hold on to, and you just pull your leg towards you, keeping it straight. And this is also a good position to do a hamstring stretch in. So that's the hamstrings. Then we're also going to stretch the psoas, the hip flexor area, by going into a nice lunge. And you can either stretch in this position, making a right angle here, or you can slowly lower down the back knee, tuck your toes under, and this is a little bit more of a relaxing version of this lunge stretch. And what you want is for this front hip to just sink forward as if it's really heavy, so that you feel the stretch here from your thigh towards your belly. And breathe very deeply. It's good to take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just try and actually relax into this position rather than straining. So this is the lunge. We can also stretch the quads by lying down and holding one foot towards your ass, and just holding this so that you feel the stretch in the front, all the way across the front of your leg. And again, relax, breathe deeply, and stay here for at least 30 seconds on both sides. Okay. Then the next one is to stretch this part of your leg. I'll show you standing. It's doing this. So foot goes above the knee, and then you sit down in this position. If you can balance like this and hold this, then fine, if you want to feel it here. If not, you could do it lying down. This is probably more visible, so that you're pulling this leg towards you and using your elbow to push the upper leg away from you. You can also do it in a sitting position, like this. Just basically experiment around a bit, and you're looking to try to feel the stretch here. Okay, one final stretch that I didn't do in the beginner's one is to stretch the calf muscle. And for that you can use a wall or a tree, wherever you happen to be, and you put your foot against the wall and just lean into it. Yeah, so if I show you that it's more visible, if I use our trusty ball here, you're stepping on something and then leaning over it. Okay, so that you should feel the stretch in the back of your lower leg, in the calf. And it's just good to visualize where are all the muscles around my knee and how could I stretch them in case that's going to be the thing that makes a positive impact. So that is our happy knee session finished. I've given you quite a lot of different exercises there, so you can just pick and choose which ones you enjoy, but try to do some from each session so that you're really saying hello to each muscle group and your knees will really appreciate it. You can split it up on different days, so you could do maybe half one day, half another day, and it would be great if you could do it once a week, at least if you're struggling with knee pain. So I hope this video was useful. You can explore my YouTube channel or my Make platform for different videos that's to do with fitness training. I also have a workout series that's aimed at avoiding back pain, and then most of my other videos are either strength training or high intensity interval training. If you want to know more about me, I'm a personal fitness trainer and body therapist in Berlin, but I like making these videos as a kind of hobby because there's only so many people who I'll meet one-on-one, and I think fitness is great. If you want, you can have a look at my website. It's www.sophiadavis.de. So thanks for watching, and maybe see you again. Bye!